So I had a few people ask about the gamification system that I have for a spreadsheet. I went and looked at it, and it was a little bit messy, so I just cleaned it up and I made a default version. So feel free to download this, get rid of the picture of Kamina here, and do whatever you want with it. Basically, how this works is I wanted to keep it track of stats like I was playing a Persona game. And so I wanted this kind of round chart here. I'm going to show the basics of this, then some of the extra things. Basically what this is doing is this character stat sheet is pulling from this stat block over here. So you can come and update any stats that you want up in this top left for anything you want. And then it's getting these current levels here. The weekly goal, that's kind of old, like it's probably more like 50. That will change the red lines in that sheet over here. And so you can kind of make goals for your individual stats if you want. What happens is if you get a sort of Google spreadsheet like this, you ask a bunch of questions and you leave all of the answers as numbers. And then when you connect it to the Excel sheet, then it will come in looking like this. You'll have a timestamp, the question, and what you answered. And so it'll just be a row. This wasn't the most useful way to look at it. So I have this data organization tab, and up here in this cell, there's a transpose function, which just turns it into columns instead of rows. But that also means if you put anything in it, it's going to break it because it's trying to write stuff in there. So you have to leave this sheet mostly alone, or at least from column D to the right alone. So whenever you answer a day, because basically I do it at the end of the day, it'll fill all these out, have them totaling up at the top, and then I have the different stats here, and these totals are looking at all of those things summed up. And these functions are just a sum of starting on row E over. And so that's how I track each of the different stats. And then these numbers come in, so we get that total of 463. That's where this 46.3 comes in, because I basically would divide these by 10. But yeah, it's basically looking at that and then dividing it by 10 for each of the individual stats. And so then those average to this level. This is conditionally formatted, so it gets darker the higher level it is. I can't remember exactly what the lower bound is set to currently, because I update that sometimes. So that's the basis of it. You do a response every day, goes into the data organization tab and pulls in here and gives you this stat block that you can sort of make bigger and see that go up. Now, as I did this, I wanted things to be more fun. The whole point of this was to have more fun with the things that I'm doing. So I added in a few things. I wanted some randomness in there. So this right here is a little random number generator. And I've got it set to make two numbers every time that anything is updated. So I put an A in there, it's going to change those. The point of that was at the beginning of the day, I've got a morning bonus and an evening bonus. And so it will pick a number based on this. So the lowest number it'll pick is 4. The highest number it will pick is 51. Can't remember exactly how I did it. I did it with ChatGPT. So when I get up in the morning and look at this and it says, okay, your morning bonus is 21, I come and look at the data organization tab and say 21. Did I spend less than 2 hours on my phone? And so that way I have a random challenge that I want to do. And if I complete that challenge, like if I actually do that one today, I give myself some bonus points here. The evening bonus is meant to be kind of like a retroactive randomness. So at the end of the day, when I fill it out, I come and look at this and say, let's say the day was over, I go and look at number 11, which was, did I weigh in? And then I would give myself an extra point for weighing in. And I usually double it. So those total bonus points you can use for silver, because I made a currency system. And basically what this does is two things. So if ever I have like a one-time task instead of a repeating thing that I want to do daily, I put them here in this bounties thing. And as soon as I'm done, I award myself that much silver. The silver I use for different items in the shop, which are like re-roll those daily random bonuses to see if I get more points. That wasn't the best designed thing. Adding a new question I only do when either I do once a week, or I have to pay for it. So that's kind of the cooldown tasks there. Or I can sort of level up one of the questions that I ask myself to gain more experience. Like, let's say I'm not doing a good job at meditating. I would subtract 7 gold or 10 gold from my total and make it so instead of just one experience, that gives me 2, so I'm more motivated to do it. And this also helps you scale up a little bit over time. And the stat boost is basically, I would see how many points I got in a stat for a week and give myself a bonus experience, which actually shows up here if you put it in the cell above whatever one's here. A good example of this is in the game dev cell, is I put this 9 here, and so it's getting that 22 from all of those, and then adding 9 to get that final total. I also had sort of like a weekly overview of the things I did in a week, and that was just for myself. You can delete that, but I hope this is helpful. It's honestly really fun and gets me to do it, especially if I set up an automation so that I'm texted a link to that form every day. It helps me remember to do it. So good luck.